Do you smell that? In Puerto Rico, if it smells bad, they say, "Ay fo." Hi, I'm Ann Dávila Cardinal, and for today's craft video, we're going to be talking about one of the 5 senses, smell, and how it can add incredible dimension to your writing. Smell is not the most dominant of our 5 senses, but it is the strongest in terms of memory and emotion. But it is also very often the last one that is added to a piece of writing. I write often about Puerto Rico, where my family's from, and it's emotionally very potent to me. And I had a writing teacher who said, Ann, I can see it, I can feel it, I can hear it, but I can't smell it. Have you ever been walking down the street and you catch the scent of a particular flower or maybe some particular food cooking, and it immediately transports you to another time and place? Just that instant of scent evokes the memory of a person and perhaps the emotion that's associated with them. I'm going to give you a small example from my most recent book, You've Awoken Her. This is a scene where the main character, Gabby, sees his best friend's father for the first time in a while. Then, as he always does, he pulls me in and gives me a bear hug, surrounding me in a cloud of his signature cologne. Whenever I see him, for the rest of the day, I can smell the comforting notes of bergamot and basil on my clothes. When I was 12, I wondered if that's what real fathers smelled like. So there, you're not only getting the sense of the man and the setting, but you're also getting the sense of Gabby and that his relationship with his own father is not great. So there's so much that can be done with such a small piece of writing. And this is absolutely essential when describing food, and food is such an important part of culture and our writing. Flavors are actually comprised of 2 senses, smell and taste. And in fact, flavor is 80% smell. And just to give you a quick example of food and the use of smell, this is from 5 Midnights, my first young adult horror novel. Marisol brought the delicacy to her mouth, blew gently on the edge of the oily pancake, and took a careful bite. The crispy breading gave way, releasing a puff of steam, and the taste of the mild white fish filled her mouth, followed by a citrusy hint of cilantro. She closed her eyes and allowed herself to be lulled by the sound of plates clattering, oil sizzling, and the conversation around her. So you have the sound, you have the setting, and you have the taste. And if you've ever had a bacalaíto, it's a codfish fritter. I tried to describe it in a way that you could taste it if you knew what it smelled like. And they don't have to always evoke positive feelings or emotions. In fact, very often they can be really helpful for expressing a more negative or more threatening environment. This is from The Storyteller's Death. The smell hits me first. Medicinal, antiseptic, stale. Like my father's hospital room back in New Jersey. That chemical odor that reached down into my stomach and squeezed. So there you have, anybody who's been to hospital understands the smells of the hospital, but it also connects with her father, and we know that her father was dying. And so with just that sense, so much of the story can be told. So as my last example, I just want to read a poem from the new Island Creatures. It's a verse novel from Margarita Engel, who's just brilliant. The main characters work in a wildlife rescue center, and this poem is called Potion, Vida. When you work with animals, the whole world is made of invisible particles, floating aromas that wrap molecules around you, an elixir of fur, feathers, breath, digestion. So I read to wild creatures, knowing my clothes stink from owl pellets and bat guano, but the smells remind me that all the animals and I are alive, alive, alive. We are survivors. So it is important to include the sense of smell in order to create setting, culture, personality, economic class, and to transport the reader into worlds on your page. So as a kind of exercise, I'd like you to write a paragraph or 2 about a setting, a character in a setting that can be either real or imagined. First time, I want you to use the 4 senses. I want you to use vision, hearing, touch, and taste, and leave out smell. And then do another version of it where you put smell in. And just sort of look at how that changes things and perhaps share that with the group. So like the characters in Margarita's beautiful poem, I hope you will bring the sense of smell into your writing and bring it alive, alive, alive. Thank you.